Okay, that's, mayor's gonna be a little late, so I'm gonna start the work session. We've got, don't have any old business, new business discussion. Yeah. Oh.
Janet, can you turn their mics on?
I don't think the mics are on.
Now they are.
All right.
Okay, we are now.
You need to turn it around, we can't hear you.
Mayor Lambert, Vice Mayor Sewell,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Hilton. Here. Councilmember Williams.
Here.
City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Letcher.
Here. Okay, we'll try to set the agenda for the July 13th council meeting. So we have no old business, new business discussion for going maintenance for private property.
Yes, sir. In your package, you'll have my agenda memo that breaks this down. What we'd like to do is request and submit bids out for mowing contractors. Ideally, we'd like to be able to select 2 mowing contractors, one for each district that'll work directly with codes enforcement officers. When we post these properties for coastal cleanups, overgrown and dirty lots, the way that works is we submit a ticket at the end of the 10-day period to our street department. Our street department ends up doing mowing, something that's been done for a number of years. But just to give you an idea of the scope of what we're looking at, since about 2014, it's been 408 properties that the city's maintained. That takes time away from maintaining streets and drainage and stuff, and we feel like it'd be a better utilization of resources if we could have a mowing contractor that worked directly with code enforcement. That would speed up the process and, like I said, would give us the ability to actually work on things that need to be worked on within the city. Mr. Miller's had some success with this type of program in the past, and this is something we would like to definitely go out for bid and have them submit some information to us.
You want to talk about the liens versus having to do property taxes? Bill?
Yes. Yeah, so also in the past, when you had a cleanup or a demo or whatever the case may be, that went on as a municipal lien. What we have found with non-owner occupied property over time that we continuously maintain every year, they don't have any intention on selling the property. All right? And so if they don't sell the property, there's no transaction, that lien doesn't come back around. All right? So they just continuously let these liens build up, and then if there's ever a sale, then it comes off the price. Or the other downfall is if they lose it, then we don't get our money. So the statute allows us to put this on the tax rolls. So basically what will happen is everything as of, I believe, January of this year will go in August when we turned in and will be collected as property tax. Just beyond the property tax, there will also be, it's done the same way, even as a delinquent tax. So we feel that that'll reduce that number in general, but just the city's not in necessarily the grass mowing business. So we feel like that's going to help reduce, but then also if we have a mowing contractor, we can help speed that process up. And that's where the next item comes in.
Yeah, we would get paid the money for the service that was provided to that resident a lot quicker. With the liens, if you get into foreclosed houses, forget the lien. I don't care how large it is, because the banks will take precedent, and our ability to collect is so far down the ladder that most of the times we won't be collecting on this. Liens are waived. Usually the banks got to make their money, then comes the IRS taxes and the state taxes, and then if there's any money left over, the city gets paid the liens.
will get collected at the end of the year.
Would be collected, yes.
It would be collected in the
Part of
same
the
manner
property
as
tax,
property taxes.
part of the property tax, we collected that within that year.
But we'd have an ongoing expense every time it's mowed. We pay the
Yes.
contractor.
Yes.
How, you just gonna put it out for bid and then was, I know about yards of different sizes.
So basically, the packet that they'll receive will be based on square footage, what they charge us to mow a yard based on square foot. It's a packet that's been used in other municipalities, so it's all the same, the price doesn't change. If their scope of work changes because the nature of what the yard may be, maybe it's more bushes and general cleanup, all that's specified already in that bid packet, so we will know up front if it's gonna cost more to do anything. And we want both of them to be the same. The idea of having two contractors, one, you spread the work, and two, you've got one that works east of McBride Road, got one contractor, one that works west of McBride Road has the other contractor. So if they go out and they post this property for cleanup, they can start working with this contractor 5 days in. On that 11th day, he can mow. To where now, we give the list, we turn it over to the street department. They're mowing a lot of other properties, they're trying to maintain a lot of other properties. Well, then we consistently get these calls, well, you're not doing anything about this. And it's not that we're not getting to it, it's just,
You just short it.
yeah, we're doing what we can, what we have to work with. But like I say, this will be quicker, will make a more rapid response to be able to get the issue handled. It will satisfy the citizens, and then also free up our street department to do street department and public works functions.
How many yards did you say we've been cutting?
408 properties we've maintained since 2014.
It's about 130 something per
Some of
year.
those are repeats.
Yeah, some of them are the same properties. There's one on Ringo Road that we've done several times.
And this goes on, July 13th meeting.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be for tree cutting too, we got tree down on this property.
I was-
The house.
Yes.
Yes.
There's, so basically in that packet, it also states that about tree cutting. And if that contract is awarded, it has to be somebody that's already got a business license within the city, it has to be a reputable tree company. So if you go to the same type of situation.
Right now, these contractors gonna be allowed to put it out on the side of the road for the city to pick it up.
That, so we can address that, no, but it's a cut, haul off, it's not for us to provide more work for the city.
Yeah, we
This
want
should
them to haul it
alleviate.
off.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
I want them to haul it off, and that would be included in the cost. So it won't be just a tree cut, with the limbs of the trunk cut up in different sizes at the edge of the property.
Yeah, we've not submitted anything for bid yet. We have a packet ready to go out for bid. Just kind of want to make you all aware of this is what we're kind of looking at.
You gonna show us back next meeting then?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
I'm good with moving it on.
So the highest invoice would be is $500, you do it 4 or 5 times a year.
Oh, that's, you're getting one ahead.
Yeah, this
Go ahead.
is the next item.
Yeah, this is-
Okay, this would be B, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in order, we feel like, one, with this going on the tax bill, we feel like this could reduce the number of yards that the city's having to maintain and be responsible for. Two would be to institute this administrative fee. This administrative fee would be a $100 assessment on top of the contractor's expense for the first time. The second time would be $250. The third time would be a $500 administrative assessment fee for the third mowing plus the contractor's expense. And any additional mowing after the third will be assessed at $500 administrative assistance fee plus contractor expense
Within a year.
within 12 months. With the idea of that, seeing a mass reduction, because right now people say, oh, you're gonna send us a $100 bill for mowing the grass. I don't have to pay it, I don't see, you submit a lien, no harm, no foul. Now they're gonna get a tax bill, plus if they have the administrative fee, they'll hire their own contractor to mow their own yard. Keep in mind, a vast majority of these are vacant property that people just fail to mow.
This is not gonna be, are we gonna have someone call in about this house? Or the inspection department will go around and say, okay, it's time now this we cut again, we mowed it last time, so we.
So yes, doesn't change our process at all. The only difference it would be that now, instead of compiling this list for Norman at the street department, each individual codes enforcement officer would compile the list for the contractor.
You give it to them on a daily basis, they have it, during the dry season.
So we're gonna have a 10-day thing. Each issue that you write out, it's gonna be a 10-day thing. And if they go out there and mow one strip, then they get another 10 days.
No, it's a complete project. Yeah, it's a complete, I see what you're saying, but no, it's a complete project. It's a complete, yeah, it's a complete project.
And it includes, when we say cut, it doesn't include cut the back, or cut the front, and let the back go.
I don't think it's complaint about, sir.
I know.
Yeah.
Mayor's here.
So so we'll bring the packet forward, next meeting for review. You'll have it, matter of fact, you can have it tomorrow, I believe, Janet, the packet. Yeah, just a view, and then we'll get that ready for bids. But the language for the assessment fee will need to be done as an ordinance. So we'll have that in ordinance form for first reading at the next meeting.
Like these yards, they gonna be, I might not know what y'all talking, they're gonna be on a time schedule, like every 3 weeks, or, I mean, for times.
No, because the way the statutes and the codes are written, basically you got, once they reach a 12-inch, so 12 inch is kind of that's when it starts. That's when our process starts. When we go out and we see it's over 12 inches. Once it reaches that point, then it's 10 days. And then if nothing happens within 10 days, under this method, or doing it this way, we would actually be able to mow on the 11th day versus mowing on the 35th day.
It's too good deal.
Exactly. And then that's what wear and tear on our equipment and manpower, and it's just become excessive.
The other thing, importantly, it does is it responds to the complaint that we get from the residents, because when they call it 12 inches, or we see it's 12 inches, and if our guys are out there mowing the interchange in other areas, that takes a precedent. It may take another week or 2 weeks before we get to that. Now the grass is 18, 20 some inches, and the residents call and says, hey, I thought we were going to get this cut. It's on the schedule to get cut. We can expedite that by having contractors being on that 11th day, calls made by a code enforcement officer. Here's a ticket, go on that, this is what needs cut, get it done. Now we're responding that 11th and 12th day and get the yard cleaned up.
Another thing that could potentially help what we're doing is we're changing the way we do our poster cleanups. Before, you've seen just general boards out there, and it's what we can find that we pick up when people leave abandoned signs. But what we're actually going to go to is a laminated sheet that's going to be, whether it's orange, pink, green, we haven't really decided the color, that'll actually be posted and placed in the front yard. So if somebody calls and complains about, are you going to do anything about this, they will obviously know that that sign's been put there by the city. So we will be putting these signs out in all these poster cleanups. We already do that now, but a lot of people don't really realize what it is because it's just on white paper. But this way, it'll be highly visible, and even to the property owner. They're going to see this high-vis piece of paper in their front yard, and hopefully that could be an indication, look, if we're keeping an eye on this, you don't have to
I
take
noticed
it.
on some houses, you see them on the front door, there'll be 5, 6 sheets, like this.
They're all poster cleanup papers.
Is that what
They are.
And we put this out for bid. I know we've got several city employees that have lawn services on the side. Are they going to be eligible to bid or no bid?
As long as it does not conflict with their hours of operation that they work, we would accept bids, yes. Absolutely, we can't preclude them.
Are there any other questions? Sir?
No problem. And like I said, we'll try to get that bid packet out to you tomorrow. I'll send it off to the city attorney. He's reviewed it. made some changes, added some things to it, to make it, provide us some more coverage, and it also states in there about insurance and everything that they're supposed to have, so it's a pretty detailed packet, but it's a workable document that if you feel we need to adjust it, certainly can.
Before we move on to the next item, I apologize for being late. And one of those afternoons I just as soon forget. It's not quite over yet, so, anyway, I apologize for being late. Item C is going to be an unnumbered resolution agreement with AMEC Foster Wheeler Engineering for CEI services for Exit 1.
Yeah, we don't have that, we have the agreement, I didn't put it in the packet because we haven't reviewed over it yet intensely. Amanda Miller and I have not met on it yet, and there's also some concerns that I have in regard to it before I put it before you, but I just want to let you know that once we get this in a position to present to you, we can get it to you earlier than a couple days before the 13th, so you have an opportunity to review it. We're going with a lump sum versus a hourly basis on this contract. I'm a little concerned with the amount of money that came on in the lump sum, and I need to talk to them, negotiate a little bit on that. That's why it's not added to this agenda this time. But this is for the consulting engineering services or inspection services that need to occur for Exit 1, the construction of the reconfiguration of Ringgold and I-75. So that's part of the state contract that we have with TDOT. We have got to provide CEI services to make sure that on a full-time basis, if there's work going on at that interchange, there's people that are going to be from AMEC Foster Wheeler, inspector there, watching what goes on. That's part of what we have agreed to do when we signed this contract years ago with TDOT. So I'll get that to you as soon as we've got a working document. We still have a little time, but I'd like to get it approved in the month of July, if not the 13th, the latest, the second meeting in July. We're hopeful to be receiving in the next short period of time, I'd like to say by the end of June, which is next week, at least some authorization from TDOT to proceed with the bidding process. We're looking at 3 weeks once we get that letter from TDOT. We're going out to bid for 3 weeks. All the documents are ready to be bid, the advertisement's ready to submit to the newspapers in general circulation. So if we get that awarded towards the end of July, maybe we can see dirt turned by mid-August to late August. When bids come in, before we award it, the lowest bid has to go before the state. The state's got to put their review time and then get their sanctions. Okay, it's being like. So we're pushing as hard as we can to see dirt turned to mid to late August. Next 2 months.
All right, thank you, sir. Next item is item D, discussion of donations of benches for the soccer fields.
Okay, Stump's not here. He is with his grandson. They're playing in a baseball tournament in North Carolina. And I said, well, you got it. You know, when you get up to the finals, you need to attend those games. We have a sponsor, Tennessee Oncology, that wants to provide for benches for the soccer fields, and be no cost to the city. However, there's a small little plaque they want to place on the back of the benches, basically acknowledging with their logo that these are the sponsor of these are from Tennessee Oncology. They're probably about no bigger than 8.5 by 11 that we in the back of the bench. We need benches, we could use them, so we need to get your authorization to accept these.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
You know, we've had picnic tables moved around from side to side. Are they any way that, I noticed here he's got these portable. So, I have no problem with thing, I just like to see them put stationary where we go down there, we just need to start dragging them from one to the other, especially on the weekends and.
That's a good point. I'll pass that on. I don't see why not, unless they have to be moved for another game to be utilized or whatever, but stationary would be the best way to do it, and then anchor them, so that you don't get legs and walk off.
Field location is, real quick, depending on what size you're playing, whether you're playing 6v6, 8v8, or 11v11, you have to utilize the fields in different directions. So making them permanently fixed could require them being at the end zones versus on the sidelines. Depends on, so if you have a full-size field, but you're gonna have like a 8v8, you may have 4 games going on that one field versus
This way.
just one on the 11v11 side.
Okay.
So it's just the dimensional, how they move the fields around for
I've
them.
had it rested, what I was reading is a request for 6 large team, put them on. The 12 inches for the smaller side of things.
Right.
And the 6 one is one he's saying, everybody, he said everything's portable. So, joint on the building, I think we have to get those around.
Well, yeah, that could become, they're the ones that usually are slipped back, that have, you know, they can get the ones that's got the covers on, you've seen in some schools that you've been to, and they're just to keep you out of the weather. But the reason why that they're generally portable is, one, multi-sports getting played on it, and they use different sides of the field, different dimensions of the field, different layouts.
He's also saying to get 2 to 4 cover benches.
Those are the ones that won't be moved as much, they'll go in the larger fields and stay there.
My concern is going to be that aluminum benches have a value, and if we don't anchor them or put them in a secure place, they will grow legs and disappear. I've seen it happen in every city I've been with. So it's
Plus, we have that in with strong approach, they're worse off.
That does happen.
yeah, we can always put that in the insurance company.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking of tables, walking off, I know we're going to have 3 on this pavilion committee. What happened to them?
that one may be still under repair.
I just wanted to add, it's been that way for a while.
Yeah, it has been.
Forward and all.
I can ask where that one went. I know we took one of them away because they actually love to go over there and sit under the pavilion and take the bolts out of the tables. So when people go sit down at the tables, they fall on their face. It's a shame that happens, but it's been happening over there. Each one of those tables has gone through that.
All right, we will move on to item E, discussion of Southern Sacred Sounds concert at Camp Jordan.
Kim, you want to address this? Do you know anything about this?
I can.
Come on up front. I know they're having this on July 29th.
It'll be July the 29th inside the arena. It's with WDF Channel 12, and they're at the Gleasons, the Hollanders, and the Bob Brothers. It's 3 big gospel groups around this area.
Yeah. And they're actually going to be
They're gonna sell tickets.
splitting the cost, from what I
Splitting the cost.
understand. Part of the proceeds will go to the Need Child Fund.
Right, and you pay $10 for a ticket prior, and at the gate, at the door, it's $15. Prior to that, it's $10 plus a toy. So it'll be going to the Needy Child Fund. Just, we don't have anything for the Needy Child Fund anymore, like the Christmas Nights Alliance used to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
The city's gonna have to come 1650.
But this isn't going to cost us anything.
This is your channel 12 is going to split.
Yeah, but you're gonna use the proceeds of the
They're using the
concert tickets.
proceeds, the bands, yeah, the proceeds,
So we don't have to,
we don't pay anything.
Okay.
This is a free concert for the city of East Ridge. With half, part of the proceeds going to, the bands and the other part going to the Need Child Fund. The only expense we have is our personnel out there, which would be,
Set up, take out.
set up tables and our, probably have our rangers out there working too.
Right, and then we'll have concession that night, so we'll get the proceeds from the concessions.
$10 advance, 15 is a day.
Yes, sir, and the toy.
Thank you. Item F is going to be a discussion of donation from Freedom Church for the police department.
Chief, handle this one, Chief Reed?
Mayor Council, the church, Freedom Church, reached out to us a couple of days ago. I've included the letter they sent to us. They wanted to make a donation to the police department so it could go toward, to serve the community and try to help us out maybe with some things that we need. We have looked at it. It would be great to put that money towards some more trauma kits and tourniquets that we keep on each officer. And as we get the new officers in or officers utilize that equipment, we can replace it and have it on hand. So we would like to move to see the donation accepted.
All right. Are there any questions? Thank you, Chief. Okay. Mr. Cagle, do you have anything else?
No, not this time, I'll wait till
Okay. Mr. Sewell? Mr. Williams?
Tell me.
Okay. Don't have anything either, so we will adjourn this meeting and get started with our regular meeting in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take a break and make sure that we have a clean finish of this meeting before we restart the next one.